All right, welcome back. This is part 2 of our playthrough of Roommates Wanted by Dark Liquid Games, a Trophy Dark incursion. All right, or rooted in Trophy, I should say. All right, so we are going to be missing a player today. So Annabel, be swallowed up by the environment, or she managed to get out before the gates were locked, as we saw from the last part. At the end of Ring 2, the gates were locked with heavy black chains, and we have our remaining characters in this house. And yeah, so let's take a look at the renters who have signed their agreements for tenancy for at least try to make it through the next 3 days being here in this house with Mr. Rod Maxim, the landlord. All right, so Preston Vanderveer has a ruin of 4 and getting perilously close to that. Oh boy, let's see what's going to happen. And has conditions discomfort and staying in the box. And then we have Gabrielle Harris, who has a ruin of 2, so she's keeping it together, but she needs company. And then Tanser, who has the condition odd man in, and also is holding together with a ruin of 2. Let's see if we can, ramp it up a bit this time. All right, so that, and let's look at the incursion. All right. Day 3. Maybe as you have woken up, you are considering what you saw or what you went through yesterday. Your phone and the money is in a time-locked safe somewhere nearby where you found it. And Preston, I'm going to say that after your hit and your addled state, I think you go back over the contract, maybe with or without Gabrielle, and you
I think
see.
with I
Okay.
think with her. I think
Okay.
because I think from what I understand we have some time we're going through that.
Yeah.
I think we were headed to the kitchen to have breakfast sort of thing, so we could kind of read them
Mm-hmm.
while we were snacking or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think Malcolm was already there. He went there first.
Okay. Yeah. So basically we're in a whole new day. So just assume that you've signed the tenancy agreements, you've discovered more of the house, and
Mhm.
just gone through and saw what you saw.
Yeah, I think I just want to say because we are in a whole new day, I do not think, given how strange a lot of this is, I
Mm-hmm.
think as long as Gabrielle was amenable, and I don't know, Preston would not have left her.
Okay. Well, I
Like
mean, aside
something is
to take your hit, because that's where we
yeah,
left you
aside
off.
yeah, aside to take the hit. Yeah,
Yeah.
they spent it doesn't have to be sexy, but I think they spent the night together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah.
What
I
do you think?
guess. Oh, I was thinking she would sort of get up a couple of times and sort of check on the others. Nope, they're still all right. Go back to her room. A couple hours later, get up again, check on the others, go back to her room. It's just, yeah, getting a bit paranoid.
Well, okay. I'm gonna say a few things happen, like around the time, like between or around this time, like as you're trying to stick together as much as you think. Um, one of the things you do notice, Preston, is that the fine print, once you're kind of more out of your addled and you know, based state, you realize that the fine print on the contracts, I mean, you're not even sure whether it was there before, but there is fine print that says, those who leave for any reason before the 5 days forfeit their 10,000 to be split amongst the other tenants.
Oh.
And so I think you might realize that Annabelle is no longer there.
Yep.
And I think the amount in the safes for you three that remain has increased. Like you noticed a couple more packets of money that have been added to the safe. Have you at this point been to each other's rooms? Well, I mean, obviously Gabrielle has definitely been to Mal's room. Yeah. But I mean, like,
Just in the middle of the night, just sort of crept over, opened the door. Yep, they're still there. I'm still here. Cool. Check the other one. Just generally quick look and then go back, sort of thing. Unless
this
there's
one's
something.
not here. Did Gabrielle have a moment when she realized Annabelle was not there?
Yeah, she's like, oh, okay, well maybe she's in with one of the others. No. This is making me feel more insecure. I'm going back to my room.
well, okay, I'm gonna say that, if you do this, Gabrielle, sometime in the middle of the night or early morning, I'm gonna say that you, as you're creeping about, and then you notice that Annabelle's door was left open, and there, on her table, I mean, first off, I mean, what do you think of, seeing her room being the way it is? Again, it's got that weird, 4K / 3D / holographic window that shows...
I'm a bit sort of lost for words because I'm like, was this the way it was when she was here? I got no idea.
Right. And then, of course, you see the bloody table, but then realize it's kind of done up like a set, kind of very cyberpunk set. And then you notice something on the...
I thought she might have been a bit kinky, but this?
Yeah. There you go. You do notice something on the bed, or the table, I should say.
Yeah.
Which, even though it is bloody, I mean, again, it still has that marking of looking like a set. But what doesn't look like it's necessarily part of the set is a knife resting on what looks like a pad of paper, like a folder with several pieces of papers in it. Do you go into the room to...
Yeah, I think I would.
further?
I've got architecture and stuff, so I'm used to looking at documents and papers and stuff. So yeah,
Sure.
yeah, I'm curious.
All right, because when you do go look through this, or in the early morning, and realize that Annabelle's no longer there, the knife is resting on this folder. The folder's has a name on it. It is about Mal. Malcolm Tanser is the name that's on the folder tab. Do you look?
I take it back to my room and look. I'm not staying here.
I think we'll get back to you in a second. Preston, I think that, in your wanderings yesterday, on day 2,
Yes.
I think you find the steam room and sauna.
Oh, Preston is like, thank God, I could really use a sauna.
It is beautifully tiled. It is anything that you remember from other rooms or other maybe in other people's homes per se, or even if you've been to like the lodges, outdoor lodges in Iceland or Finland or, wheresoever, it is better than all of these. What does it look like? I mean, is it like wood? Is it like, finer tile?
I think it's wood. I think there's probably finer tile inside the steam room, but he's less interested in that and more interested in the sauna. And I think it's like a hardy, pale wood that's just like immaculate. Like it almost looks brand new, maybe even from like the sturdiness that's there. It's got like even sort of traditional features with like the scoop, the wooden scoop and the rock. So like there doesn't seem to be anything digital in here. It's very old fashioned yet new.
Mm-hmm.
And there's these beautiful towels inside that lay like not outside but right outside that lay upon like ice, and a secondary one that is on ice but has like eucalyptus scented for sniffing, and like little like the most fancy lemon cucumber water. And it's sort of a reprieve that Preston feels he deserves after the night he's had, or the day
Right.
he'd been having.
Sure. Absolutely. I'm gonna ask, do you, like, when you come upon this, do you invite anybody to come with you or to check this out with you?
I
Or
think
do
he
you just like,
would.
no, I'm just like, okay,
I
all
think
right.
he would. I think he'd have let the other two know. He'd been like, "Oh, I don't know if you noticed. I don't know what you enjoy, but it's been a bit of a rough morning for me." Like makes eye contact with Gabrielle, aggressive eye contact. But I'm gonna utilize the sauna. There's a beautiful sauna here. If anyone would like to join me, if not, feel free to go about your own pursuits. I don't know what obligations you have, but yada yada yada.
Right. Does
No,
anybody
yeah,
join?
no, I've got some reading to do.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Mel?
Yeah, maybe not right now, but like maybe like after dinner. That always kind of felt like sauna time to me, you know.
Mm.
But yeah, if you want to, I mean, knock yourself out. I'm gonna listen to some lectures. I've got my iPod here.
Okay. So I'm gonna say, as you're resting there, Preston, and you're enjoying this, the sense of the leaves, this feeling, sitting here. I mean, like, are you clothed? Did you use, like, take advantage of the soft, fluffy towels that are available?
Yeah,
Because
I
they're,
think he's taking advantage of soft floppy towels.
oh yeah. I mean, you can definitely enjoy the feeling um, of being in this space as the steam, like, rises from the rocks and such. It's making your flesh soft and pliable. And you feel yourself, I think, the fog and steam of this place is kind of comforting, I would imagine, and
Yeah,
also making your vision very dim. Can't quite see anything in here.
yeah, so much steam.
I think as you're sitting here, I think you're contemplating. And you're all contemplating in some way. It may be like more in the front of your mind or perhaps in the back of your mind. There's this feeling of perhaps your roommates are trying to take advantage, to get your share of the payouts, or worse, perhaps get you kicked out when you want to stay. You're part of something larger, part of a system, a cycle, an engine heading somewhere important. You owe the landlord your cooperation, and your companions owe you theirs. Mal, I think on your way back to your room, your head filling with the list of lectures that you're possibly going to, enjoy while you have like this semi-leisure time. I think you overhear a conversation. One of the doors in the upstairs is open. And you hear the landlord telling someone that their room will be ready quite soon. I don't think you know that yet that Annabelle's no longer there.
Oh. Huh.
Do you pass the room?
Yeah, there'd be a short pause, like maybe we should listen, but no, it's we'll just keep on walking, and actually we'll take this opportunity. If this isn't like immediately adjacent to the bedroom, this is when I think we'll go exploring and go poke our head into the other folks' rooms. Any of them aren't locked anyways.
Yeah. No. I mean,
might give a knock first on each one.
Sure. I mean, do you go past the one that you heard the landlord talking to somebody, or do you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well,
but you you don't knock at that one. Is what I'm asking.
No.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, you knock at the other rooms. I think you go knocking into. Some of the rooms are very basic. I mean, like, if they don't have a tenant, if they don't have one of you in there already, I think it just has like a very, plain setup, like as if it's ready to be set up for something. It's going to have the placeholders. It's going to have a bed. It's going to have some sitting chairs. It's going to have possibly a desk. But it's a space that looks like it's ready to be made into something. And then as you go down the hall or, to go around to the different rooms knocking, when you knock upon Preston's room, and I'm assuming this is when Preston's like down in the steam room, his door falls open without, much disturbance. And you see all the finer things, all the more expensive things. That lion's head with its full mane is like ready to growl right at you. What do you think looking at all of this?
Wow. Somebody's got expensive tastes. He's got to be, somebody big mover and shaker. Back in, the other world. I wonder what kind of music he listens to.
Do you check? Do you check to see if there's any kind of music or anything?
Not actively, because I don't think Mal is that intrusive. But if there's any like clear indicators, I think Mal would be somebody more to form an assumption based off of what he sees. Like,
I think you see a record player.
Some Katy Perry. But if there's a record player, if there is something plainly visible, Mal will go and take a look, see, what's there.
Yeah. I think you see. Yeah, I think you see a record player.
Yeah, I'll take a look if there's if there's records or vinyls nearby. Mal's a vinyl collection kind of guy.
Yeah, I think so. I think the first one, I think there is part of you that is correct. I think there is a couple like Katy Perry vinyls, like at the top. But then, for interest's sake, I think you like. What is Mal's favorite song?
It is the first track of. Right now, his favorite song is the first track of Blackberry Daisy's EP, which was Lacy Expectations.
Yeah, I think you see the vinyl for Lazy Expectations.
Yeah. They released it as a single.
Just for funsies, do you try to play one of these vinyls while you're here?
No, we've got it on the iPod. I mean,
But I
it
think
probably
if-
sounds better on vinyl, but that's something that we'll like maybe like after the sauna, we'll listen to some daisies.
I think as you're contemplating the vinyl, I think you hear something that sounds like it's coming from the tubes or a speaker behind the tubes. You don't know. But first it sounds like the beginnings of the song. It's like pretty, melodic. What kind of song is it? Is it like mellow? Is it like, kind of like more upbeat? What is it?
It's upbeat. It's that garage band, not quite punk. Sort of like the evolution of ska. So it's peppy, it's upbeat.
Gotcha.
It's a little sort of irreverent, but not rolling into the hard rock genre.
Okay. I mean, but does it have like a lot of like rolling sax or flute in it? Like, kind of like, bouncy?
No, more just, lead guitar, rhythm guitar, drums,
Okay.
and vocalist.
Got it. Okay. So you start to hear this, and it's like, it's kind of gives you like a better mood in the morning. But it starts to drift off and then turn into whispers where the music part of it goes away. And then you start to hear, like as if the lyrics change and then turn into a cappella, that in the same rhythm, same upbeat, but it starts to turn a little bit sinister, where you start to hear that you're being watched. Your companions want your share. You're being watched. Do you stay? Do you dare?
Oh no. We're out. We don't want to be caught snooping. We've been in here way too long. We got too interested. This is what happens when you get too interested in people, and we're gonna scooty on out.
Go ahead and take a ruin roll, please.
Sure. That is a 2.
Okay. Still holding it together. All right. I think you're would you say your practical nature is kind of like keeping you, firm and not falling into this place?
Yeah. As much as the logic in his head blinds him to what is clearly going on from seeing it on a meta perspective, his ability to rationalize is just keeping him like, no, it all makes sense. That it's just I've got it in my head. It's just an earworm. Like when you hear a song and you think you hear a song and it's in your head, like things start to sound like that. You imagine a yellow cab, all of a sudden there are yellow cabs all over the street. That's how it works. He's just rationalizing to himself.
Exactly. Let's go over to Gabrielle. Gabrielle, so you're you're reading this dossier. It's about Mal and his life. I mean, in a factual, like, fill out the form kind of sense.
Yep.
Where he's been, who he's seen, maybe a picture of that girlfriend that he was with for a bit. And a playlist of things that maybe he's put together on Spotify or SoundCloud, and that he listens to, and like kind of like what looks like an order sheet from like an old record shop, which includes some of the Blackberry Daisy LPs, and includes an order form or the receipt that you would receive in a package of the poster or the LPs that Mal had seen back in the library or the lounge. What else does he see in that? What else does Gabrielle see in this folder, Mal, you think?
Rejection letters to a publisher. Mal wanted to be, apparently he wanted to be a novelist at some point. And so he's got, 3 to 5 different publisher rejection letters. What else? Handwritten correspondence from someone, probably that girl that he was talking about from Austin, maybe a different one. But apparently they had a thing for handwritten correspondence because email is too
Gosh.
Yeah, email's too gauche, so they did handwritten correspondence to each other for a while. If you track the dates, it lasted all of about a month and a half before they got bored with that.
Is it like a first draft of a novel manuscript or something? Or?
There might be there could be a draft of a manuscript in there as well, along with the rejection letters. Maybe they might have sent whatever he sent them back. And if you breeze through it, it's a bad historical fiction novel, very much like a Sharp or Master and Commander, rooted in reality, but fictional characters and fictionalization. But it's set in the Roman times, so yeah, take the idea of like the Sharp novels or Cornwell or Master and Commander, but it's a historical fiction set in the Roman Empire, I guess. That's maybe something that Mal has been very interested in.
I think one of the letters says something to the effect of this, well, I mean, it has a kind but condescending tone to it when you read it, Gabrielle. I think it says something like, this is a good effort for, an amateur. We appreciate the material, but it seems to be kind of like genre mixing or time period mixing, not of a sort that I think our readers will be interested in.
Wow.
It's all over the place.
Patronizing.
Pretty much. And so, like, there's basically like red marks like all over this, like, I guess the first 3 chapters, whatever you sent in, and it's like, like a lot of question marks in the red marks. It's like, what's this mean, or what, like, why is this not like, why, like, what is this tied into? Something. So, and that's what you see in this in this little dossier. Not quite so little, but you get the idea.
Okay.
And Preston, I think you see, as you're coming out, because you don't want to get too steamy and too pruny, I would imagine.
No, absolutely not. It's definitely a bit of a short endeavor because he knows
Yeah.
he plans to come back with Mal later.
Yes, exactly. I mean, try it out. It's like it doesn't have to be like
He's
something
just
that's
making sure,
extended.
everything is perfect and working for later. It's definitely just him being, an efficient and kind friend.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it has nothing to do with the fact of his own enjoyment. Not at all.
Not at all.
I think as Preston, though, is coming out of this place, I mean, like, all wrapped up in the cozy bathrobe and such. Of course, there's, like, those hanging there as well. I think you meet the landlord coming out, and he's wearing his robes and tunic and lounge pants and, like, soft slippers as usual. Still a very powerfully built man for being elderly. Not quite so bowed necessarily, I mean, he's always given that impression of being like a hardy individual, but, like, even more so, although he looks a little bit more paunched than before. And he has his cane, which you still can't see the head of because his big hand is covering it. And he says, "Ah, you found the steam room. How'd you like it?"
Yes, the sauna was quite lovely. I haven't tried the steam room yet. It's not really my thing, but the sauna was delightful. I think the touch of the sort of eucalyptus, and I think I got a hint of lavender, right, on
Oh,
the
yeah.
scent towels for the additional was really refreshing.
He waves his hand, like, kind of like by his face and by his nose. It's like, you get that scent in there, and it's like, it just kind of helps relax you and makes you feel cleansed from the inside into the out.
Exactly.
So,
I couldn't have found finer words myself.
well, definitely enjoy. You got your stay here, and, like, enjoy all of the amenities, all included. You don't have to worry about anything here. No bills, no nothing. Just have to stay and enjoy what's around you. Oh, and he makes like he's gonna look at a watch, but then realizes he doesn't have one. And he'll say, "Oh, excuse me, I have to go check on something in the basement, all right? I'm gonna go and,
Do you need
just...
any assistance?
No, it's fine. It's just something I have to take care of myself. But I thank you for your offer. You go along now, and you go find something else to enjoy. I mean, don't forget, you have, like, the ability to go check this place out. You may want to stay a while after the days are over. Yeah?
Honestly, yeah, I can't think of a good reason to leave afterwards.
Good. And he claps you on the back. And again, as I believe Mal found out in the lounge, very powerful hand.
Oh, wow,
Strength
you're
behind him.
feel very strong.
Oh, thank you kindly. Been working out. And then he
Really, we
will
should
kind of...
hit the gym together sometime.
Definitely. It's probably along, like, one of the other hallways. Sometimes I forget where things are located. You go along and
No,
find
that's
it.
totally understandable. I got lost in my parents' house for like 2 days once when I was a small child.
There you go. All right? You gotta get the
Oh,
layout first.
yeah, no, I do have a quick question actually.
Yeah.
And his hand is going to reach out to sort of I'm distracted by a cat. His hand reaches out to, like, sort of almost gently pluck at the fingers on the cane. I am not one to leave something that catches my eye alone. I would love to see what my grandfather actually used to walk with a cane. I would love to see what the topper on yours is.
Ah, that's nothing really. And as he's saying this, his big hand closes even further on it. And you feel, would you say that your hand is touching his fingers or the back of his hand?
Probably the fingers.
I think you feel as he's tightening his fingers the on the cane head. I think you feel some kind of weird wriggling movement underneath the skin of his fingers.
Huh.
And he, do you, what do you do?
I think, my dear compatriot, as you know, we are now, you're working too hard. Your hands, they feel jumpy almost. You seem to take care of us so well. When do you ever take time to care for yourself?
Oh,
And I think his other hand will sort of come up, almost like massage a little, like press a little on like his hands a bit, almost like he's trying to, like work out some tension or something.
you are a kindly one, aren't you? And his other, well, I should say, his other hand, the one not on the cane, will come up and reach and clap your face, like just kind of like tenderly reach out and kind of caress it. You are a fine specimen, and your concern is appreciated. But no worries. I'm used to taking care of folks. Go along now. I got some business to take care of. And then we'll talk like, maybe like over the noon meal or something. All right? Go on now. Go on. And he will take that free hand and turn you literally to gently
Yeah, and I think
but powerfully push you
yeah,
away.
I think there's a moment where he's gonna laugh a little and he says, "You sound like the old people I used to model for. They used to grab my face just like this." And then he'll shake his head, uh, and go as he's sort of directed. See you later. I hope everything goes well in the basement.
Indeed. Thank you. And then as he goes to the basement, you see him slip in, and you hear the door locked several times from within. Turn, click, clock, prod, and then what sounds like a thud.
That's
the
just
final lock.
comforting.
All right.
Yeah, I think he sort of heads off in towel. I think there's like one of those wicker baskets, and he's just like straight up left his clothes in there, as if expecting some kind of maid service will take care of it. To start heading towards his room in the robe.
Excellent. All right. So, Gabrielle, after you look at this dossier of Mal, what do you do? Where do you go?
I think I'll go and have a chat with Mal. I'll take the dossier with me.
Okay. Alrighty.
Is he in his room or is he not there? Or
He's in his room by this point, I think.
just knock on the door. Got a second?
Yeah, sure. He's got, old school, white line little iPod earbuds in, and pulls them out and come on in.
So I'll shut the door and I'll sort of put the dossier in front of him and say, I can't find, was it Annabel? Yeah, I can't find Annabelle, and this was in her room.
What is it?
It's you, or a version of you, perhaps.
Interesting. All right. Well, let me see. But you start flipping through it and go, wait, you said Annabelle's not.
Yeah, I can't find her anywhere. But do you still think about ex-girlfriend's name?
Rachel. I mean, gosh. We had to move away, and long distance relationships are hard, and so we yeah, I do, I guess.
It's fine. Your life is yours, but the thing is, your life's in there. So someone's been watching you or something.
Yeah, this is really weird. Oh my god, I haven't thought about the novel in a long time. Wow. Oh man.
I mean, there's worse on Netflix. I wouldn't beat yourself up.
Yeah, that's refreshing, certainly. But wow, there's like a whole compilation. Where you said this is in Annabelle's room?
Yeah. So either she was watching you, or someone wants us to think she was. This reminds me of like those reality TV shows where it's all made to look like people are scheming and stuff. But
I'm totally getting Big Brother vibes from this place.
Maybe it is actually like that. Maybe someone is trying to. I don't know. It all does feel a bit like a test, but that doesn't mean it's all harmless and we all walk away. Because like, where the hell is Annabelle? She didn't even say goodbye.
As you're saying this, I think, or as you're both talking about this, especially when you were starting to say something about Big Brother, I think you hear some skittering in the tubes, and somehow it's like it's more pronounced, because if you actually look up, in the tubes there are groups of rats. Now, they're alternating looking at you, watching you two, or grouping and look like talking. Like literally huddled together, talking. But that's hard to fathom, right?
I mean, I know a bit about animals, and that does seem odd. They're not. Well, you do find rats in groups. They're not like, they don't have pack dynamics. They just eat stuff and sleep. They're not, there's not like social hierarchy or anything. Yeah.
When they see that you're looking up at them, they will tumble over each other as you expect rats to do, and start scurrying back along the tubes again.
Huh.
I just sort of look at Malcolm and back at the rats.
What do you think? I mean, what are you thinking as you see these rats huddle together and then watching you?
Oh shit, they probably watched us last night. It's not comforting thought. She's fiddled with her hair while she's like,
Some of the rats will actually stop at you saying that and start to make like louder chitters as if they're laughing.
I'll point at them and say, go.
And then they'll skitter along. Take a ruin roll, both of you.
Oh. It's a 1 for Mal.
Mal is
6.
keeping it together like crazy. He is rationalizing the shit out of this stuff. However, Gabrielle,
It's
your,
not.
your ruin goes up.
I know enough about rats to know this shit ain't normal.
Yeah,
Not
so
good.
you're how do you feel?
Yeah, just whether this is a fun for entertainment game or a nasty game, it's edging towards this is not pleasant. It does make me consider maybe should we just make a break for it and bugger off, but I'm yeah, just less comfortable here despite the amenities.
Mal in the back of his head is like, I wonder if rats can vote us out.
Gabrielle, take the condition. Just take the condition uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I was gonna put something like uncomfortable realities, so that's up to you if you want to put that in there. And then for Mal, yeah, he's keeping it together. He's like he's a pretty like holy crap. Either that or he's just gonna fall real hard later. We'll see. Okay. What the heck happened? That was weird. Sorry, lost my document. Okay. Preston, where do you find yourself as you are, well, kind of gestured away from the landlord and he's locked in the basement door?
Wandering. I think he's in this robe. I think he's enjoying a bit of a natural high for the first time in a little bit after the sauna and everything's been very nice. And the sort of nice but slightly strange interaction he just had.
Sure.
So I think he's just wandering or wandering. I think he's taking Maxim's advice. I think he's exploring. I think he is wandering the halls in this robe, nothing on his feet, bare feet, sort of enjoying the different textures of the flooring of the place and just sort of seeing what calls to him or what feels right.
Okay.
As he's meandering about these different turns and twists of this place.
Do you think by this time that he's going to get something to eat, or if he's going to just kind of like, look for different types of rooms, like maybe on the ground floor?
I think maybe more different types of rooms, yeah.
Okay. Alrighty. I'm going to say maybe you wander into the conservatory where Annabel had seen something. But in this case, when you go into the conservatory, you see like this ornate chair, like actually different ornate chairs like scattered about the place. And you definitely see the tubing. There's actually more of them here because they've been set up in a way that kind of along the walls, like on different levels. And you see that there are openings there. So, I mean, like, the rats could easily jump in and out. But strangely enough, they're kind of like, they go to the end, but they don't necessarily come in. Maybe one or two will be crawling around on the floor or something, but then they'll jump right back into the tube. I mean, it's kind of like a waypoint for them, I guess. But you see these beautiful windows and the wrought iron detailing on the outside. And then I think outside of the windows, you see what look like cultivated trees and bushes. So it's a very nice view. You just have like the tubes of rats in this place. You go in?
Yeah, I think he goes in and Preston still sort of is not perturbed too much by the rats. I think growing up as he did, like he's seen some fucking strange pets, and he's also seen some very indulgent people with strange pets. So his hand sort of traces that gold line still that has been mentioned that sort of runs
And
along
it does.
the tubing. And I think in his own cheeky sort of way, it's a bit surprising. Preston's actually a good singer. He's got a nice voice, and he starts sort of like mumble singing Ben by Michael Jackson. It's a deep cut. I don't know if anyone gets that reference. And as he starts to go towards this window, yeah.
You all right?
Oh,
You
yeah. Oh, did it cut out?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Yeah, so he's sort of humming, singing this song as he's going towards the window and sort of taking in the scenery there, still sort of one hand idly fidgeting on that gold line on that rat tube.
As you're following the line, and the rats are kind of like jumping in and out, and again, like there's not that many of them here. Some of them are watching you. You may or may not notice, but then you're going to the window itself, and you can see the beautiful blooms outside. You can see the tubing continuing on outside as well, with some of the openings so the rats can go in and out. And you see what look like garbage cans outside. They're open. They're no lids or whatever. They're just like, just for general refuse or what have you. The rats aren't going towards them. They're just kind of leaving them alone as if, it's just garbage cans. Who cares? But I think as you're watching outside, taking in all the flowers and the bushes and the trees, which look very bucolic, very, very, just gives you this atmosphere. There's a sound that comes from further out by the bins. And you notice that there's a big, panel that slides open after the sounds come through, and then something that looks like a plastic bag full of something wet and red slides from the chute into the bin.
Not gonna think about that. I think Preston sort of, he's like, you know what? Nah, not in the mood for this. He's gonna sort of about face a little bit. And nope, no, thank you. And he's actually gonna turn and look at the rats. How clean are they? Like, do they seem well, because they weren't by the garbage, they seem like well groomed, like very much like pet rats in that sense, I guess.
Oh, I mean, they're immaculate looking. I mean, some of them have shiny coats. Some of them are a little bit scruffier looking, but that's because the hair is tufted by their face or on their back or what have you. I mean, and there are varying sizes. I mean, some of them are smaller, some of them are bigger, some of them could be as large as your two hands, but I mean, they're rather benign looking. But some of them are watching.
We're gonna have him. Yeah, he's gonna look at them because they're watching him. We're gonna have a movie night later. We're gonna watch Ratatouille.
I think some of them ignore you, and then the ones that were kind of beadily watching you, or they're nodding their head yeah, that's good, that's cool, yeah, and then they'll jump back into the tube, and I guess make like they're gonna tell their friends.
Spread the word, movie night at my place. Yeah,
Spread the
person's
word.
I'm just I'm gonna pretend I didn't see that. I don't want to deal with it.
Okay, all right. So closes day 3. And we're going to take a 10-minute break as we've hit the hour mark. And yeah, we'll be back for the next day. All right. So see you in 10 minutes. Everybody doing okay? Everybody feeling good? Or relatively good for the strangeness that we're experiencing? Alrighty. So I think the plan did go to fruition. So I think, Preston, in your wanderings, I think you found I think you found the room that has like the audio visual setup. In fact, it's probably like a mini theater. Like maybe room for, well, as many people that fit in the breakfast nook. So, like, 6 to 8 people sitting in what would essentially look like theater seats that you would be able to control by buttons to, like, lounge or then, like, sit upright. Very cush, very, very leather covered and padded. And, there's it's basically a disc setup, but then you can plug in any of the numerous discs that line the walls onto this big, I don't even know what's a big TV anymore, 60 inch, I don't know, flat panel.
It just
4K.
takes up a wall.
Oh yeah, it takes up a wall then. But it doesn't distort. Like, in other words, it's like, doesn't matter where you're sitting, it's got that right curvature, so it's perfect. No matter which seat you're sitting in, it looks like you're right in front of the screen.
Do they have Ratatouille?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think so. I think, Mal and Gabrielle would have been invited to a movie viewing the night prior.
For sure. And then, you find in the kitchen that there's a like a popcorn maker, if you want to go that far, because like there's a bottle, not a bottle, there's a jar of kernels, and
you definitely
fixings, butter, or you could just do the microwave, because there's a few packets of that in the a microwave.
I think he uses the popcorn maker, and he does invite Maxim also. He's like, hey, gonna do a movie night, gonna watch, and he'll smile, gonna watch Ratatouille, making popcorn. I've invited, Mal and Gabrielle, and he looks at the tubing and the other housemates.
Yeah. I mean, I'm thinking that, even in this place, there's still the tubing up top, and there's like probably some on the skirting on the bottom too. So I think by the time that everybody gets settled in, all the popcorn bowls are out, everybody can have their own, and maybe there's like a big fat one for the other tenants.
If there is an opening here, Preston would have put a bowl by the opening.
Got it. Yeah. Yeah. And I think by towards the end of the movie, especially like that scene where the fella, the critic, takes a bite and zooms in like on his memory, I think he's, you see that scene, it's quite emotional. I mean, I found it emotional, but I don't know about anybody else. And if you look around, or the camera will pan around and see all your rapt faces staring at the screen, being one with this image of this fellow that's remembering nostalgia just from a bite. And you see some of the rats have like a piece of popcorn in their little paws, just watching. And all of you have that same look on your face. Even Rod Maxim is like, up in his chair, and he's kind of like, paused with the popcorn, like ready to be put into his mouth, but he hasn't, because he's just looking at that image. What are you thinking about when you see that? When you see this fellow on screen remembering nostalgia from a taste? What do you taste? Even though you have like popcorn, I mean, what are you remembering, each of you?
I think Preston has it's a very faded memory from his youth. His mother is from sort of Scandinavian origin, and unlike his father, she was a model, and she came from a very impoverished household. So he remembers meeting a grandmother, maybe? Was it a grandmother? He doesn't remember too well, but he remembers a warm bowl. And he remembers being very small and sitting on a chair where his feet didn't hit the ground and eating from this bowl. And he remembered, and it's warm and nice, but then it's also juxtaposed by a sort of looking like he'd sort of tucked into this meal as a small child. And then he'd looked up and he'd seen his father at this table, more similar in age to the grandmother figure than his mother, and the absolute look of sort of almost displeasure or disgust as this man looked around this sort of very small home, a very like modest place, and then at this bowl, and he'd sort of put it down after, and he has no other memories of going to this place. But it's sort of just an old memory that he barely even can touch upon with fuzz.
For Mal, the childhood memory that this I think taps into, when he was a kid, there was still a drive-in theater in his little town. Like it was seen as quaint. Even then, there were other AMC's on the rise and all that. So it was definitely the hipster thing to do, to go see a movie at the drive-in theater for that oldie-timey kind of feel. And they would normally play normal movies, the big summer blockbusters, because you could really only go to the drive-in like really in the summer. Otherwise it's just too dang cold, even with a car heater. But they would like one weekend of the summer, they would do like true old classics, and they did a showing of 10 Commandments. And I think that's when Mal like really kind of fell in love with that period of history, seeing all these people in these other cars enjoying this movie, and the popcorn and all of that sort of presentation. And that's the memory that kind of like flashes back to him, is sitting in his car with his parents, like on the little spot between the driver and the passenger seat, because he was that little, watching this classic movie at the drive-in.
For Gabrielle, she remembers her first pet spider. It had caught some flies or like a moth or something in its web, and she'd sort of talking to it, saying, "Oh, do you like the taste, or is it just sort of, oh, whatever? Do you like the things you catch?" And she was wondering what flies taste like to a spider.
Okay. So, I think you all watched the movie thinking your thinks. And I mean, I don't know if you clap or if you finish off the movie like in a satisfactory way yourselves, but at the end of the movie, like Rod will actually like, rise from an empty bowl of popcorn and will clap, and he hadn't, or at least you didn't catch him releasing that cane. So as he's clapping with one hand still clutching the handle of his cane, and just kind of like, well done. Ah, this movie hits me right in the feels. And then like, he takes his cane hand and kind of like just thumps his heart. And, yeah. So, he bids you all a good night. And, do you all go to bed after that?
I think I kind of tug on their arms a bit as if to say, just wait a sec, so that Rod can get a bit of distance, and then I'll say, basement.
Oh, I don't think so. It's really locked. Like I was talking with him actually earlier today, and he went to go to the basement, and I think I heard like 6 or 7.
Okay.
Also, strangest thing, I was in the conservatory, and he's just gonna, I saw these rather distant garbage receptacles, and something came down the chute, kind of red.
What was it?
I have no idea. I'm not touching that with a 10-foot pole, especially alone. However, we could contemplate in the sauna what it could be.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I wouldn't mind hitting the sauna for a bit before the bed. Maybe, 20, 30 minutes or so.
Yeah.
Gabrielle, do you go?
I think she's gonna read a book like just outside. She's not gonna go in. She'll just be in the next room. She doesn't want to be far away because just that body bag thing or whatever the hell it was. That's slots lovely into that uncomfortable reality thing. So, no, not feeling good at the minute.
Gotcha. Okay. So, it kind of passes uneventfully, and where Mal and Preston will enjoy the feel of the steam room and sauna and such. And I think Preston, I think between the popcorn and such, I think you're feeling quite languid, and I don't know how mellow Mal is feeling. And then Gabrielle, I mean, you're reading your book, and then, aside from the chittering of the rats, who are ever present, not in the steam room, of course, but
I was about to say,
present. Yeah. I mean, they're there's tubing everywhere except for the bathrooms and stuff like the steam room. So yeah, I mean, aside from that, I mean, it's again pretty uneventful. And you all can retire to your rooms. Do you retire to your individual rooms, or do people spend some time together? What's going on? Because I'm nosy.
Yeah, I think Gabrielle said to Mal, if you don't mind, you can tell she's a bit nervous or scared even.
Yeah, no. Honestly, we could fit 3 people in my bed.
You really can. I mean, it's
more
like
than
a
3 people.
sleigh. It's literally like a sleigh. So,
And I don't mind sharing.
I'm fine in my own bed. That's a really kind offer.
Yeah, but Mal, don't you want to make sure Gabrielle's okay?
Come
on, bud, don't leave her hanging. What kind of friend would you be? Slumber party.
Okay, I mean, I'll bring some blankets and pillows maybe over from my room, I guess, and yeah, we can do a slumber party, I guess.
Yeah, no, I think so. I think it would be great. In fact, we could even, let's do that. I think that's delightful.
Preston, I think you're going to find that when Mal does bring over some of his blankets and pillow and such and so forth, I think you're going to find that somehow the blankets that he has, even though more homey, they are much more comfortable than yours. If you get to feel
Oh, yeah. And Preston does not have the best concept of other people's space. And he gets real cozy near Mal because those blankets are comfortable. And yeah, he gets real cozy near Mal. Definitely. Unless Mal like says something, he is going to share blankets with him and get comfy. He's like, these are great. What is the brand name on them?
I don't know. I haven't really checked the tags. I don't think I've ever had these kind of blankets before. I've never really thought about blankets in that way, you know.
Yeah, but okay, not to brag, I have really great skin. And I have a regimen and everything like that. And he takes Mal's hand and rubs like the back of it against the blanket, and will take the other hand and put it against his cheek and be like, look how downy soft they are comparatively. Like my cheeks are downy soft, and this is even like softer.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah, they're really soft blankets. Like, I've slept really well these past few nights.
Gabrielle, what do you think of this exchange?
Um,
I'm assuming you're there.
Yeah, she's sort of half paying attention, sort of going, "Oh, what was that?" Every time there's like too much chittering in the tunnels, tubes and stuff. Yeah, she's jumpy.
Mal is going to. So the odd man in is why he's accepting this invitation, but he is going to try and like find something that's not the bed to sleep on, a couch or the floor or something. And it's actually like, yeah, these blankets are soft enough. I don't even need the bed. It'll be fine. I'll just crash down here like old school slumber party. Like you had with your friends, right?
The lion skin. The fully maned lion skin rug is the only thing on the floor.
Absolutely,
it's a beautiful hardwood floor.
It. That's what we'll go for.
If you're
Don't worry,
sure,
I'll just camp out here. Yeah.
I mean, honestly, again, this is an Alaskan king bed. Like, there's a lot of space here.
You could literally be arm's length away, and you probably still won't be touching. Unless Preston snuggles up next to you, you know what I'm saying? I mean, like, it's a humongo bed.
You could even like if not that, not to insinuate anything, but if you really we could put like Gabrielle could be between us if that's like a thing that you're concerned about.
Like furious red blush.
Again, none of us have to be touching. I'm just talking about spacing. And I think he sees the blush actually, and like his smile gets a little deeper. Or I mean, we could be touching if that's what you want. Like, I'm not opposed.
Mal's brain is effectively melted out of his skull.
Yeah, I think Preston is enjoying the fact that Mal is like short-circuiting.
Gabrielle's gonna like take a blanket and go on. Is there some sort of chair? But she'll move the chair so that you can kind of see the bed and the door at the same time, and just kind of huddle on that.
I think you did have. I think you did have some sort of fancy chairs.
Yeah, because he's got a boudoir going on in part of the room, so there's definitely fancy, like chaise lounges and stuff.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not really tired. I'm going to stay up for a bit.
And Preston will. Oh, sorry, you go.
I've got my iPod here. I was just gonna put in the earbuds and
I
let you guys.
I was just teasing Mal. Don't don't get so, just teasing.
Yeah, of course it was. Yeah, it was. It was just joking. Yeah. Uh,
Oh man, you're really pressed. It's just gonna, yeah, Preston will go over to the room, to the bed.
I think those vials that are like by your bed,
Mhm.
Preston, I think they're now filled with stuff.
I think he'll notice that he's like stretching languidly on the bed, trying to get into a comfortable position. And he notices that, and he'll crawl over to where the vials are and take a peeky. What's there?
And if you open up the stoppers and just take a little sniff, I think one you can identify immediately as like some very smooth whiskey. One is of the absinthe that you had downstairs, like the first night. And then another one is of like some kind of liqueur, but you can't, amazingly enough, you can't identify what it is.
Yeah, mystery liqueur gets drank. He just like, okay, yep, this one. I don't know what this is. Let's see if I can taste it better.
It's musky. It's dark. It gives you the slight feeling of being enveloped in many things.
Yeah, I think Preston's almost a little sad when it's empty. And he puts it to the side and makes a note to ask Mr. Maxim what might have been in it, if he knows what the housekeeper might have put.
Yeah. So I think it's a relatively uneventful evening. Do you think, well, I mean, I know Preston will fall asleep because of what he drank and what he ate. Gabrielle, Mal, in your respective, places, do you think you drift off to sleep?
I think she'll go down and lay next to Mal since he's on the bare rug and he's put her blankets over both. And she's pretty tired by that point because she'd been frantically watching the entire room on high alert for 2 hours. So
Mal is listening to his iPod, and it's like the old school, has the wheel that you rotate with the thumb.
Love that.
And he's changing like his playlist or changing his song. Like he might make it through a full song before he like pops it back up and like the glow is on his face and changes it to something else. But eventually after Gabrielle like comes down and lays next to him, I think he will drift off.
I think you all see something different when you drift off to sleep. And no matter what you see, I don't think you wake. I think you just go into your own vision of what's happening. And you don't even realize that you're dreaming. Because, Preston, in this bed, this cavernous bed by yourself, I think you dream and experience stomach pain, as if there are rats gnawing their way out from inside. I think there is the vision in your head, Gabrielle, like you've been so watchful, but you were seeing in your dream these hordes of rats, black and slick now. They're coating the walls and the ceilings and the floors, closing in like a living carpet. And then Mal, as you're there laying on this fully maned lion skin. You can feel the rats. You don't see it, but you feel it. You feel the rats are gnawing and scratching at your feet and your heels, herding you towards that open basement door. And you feel hot, wet air coming from it. Everyone, take a ruin roll, please.
It's a 3. Ruin goes up. No.
Weird. I'm gonna refresh my tab because I hit roll, but it didn't go.
We see it. So yours is...
Oh, did you guys see it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ruin goes up if it's currently less than 4. But,
My
yeah.
ruin is 4.
Okay, so you won't. So yours, you stay, you keep it together.
Yeah.
And then
Man, I need to stop
Gabrielle
eating popcorn so
does.
late at night.
Yeah. I mean, you're rationalizing it. How does Gabrielle rationalize what she saw?
Like,
Or
when
does
she
just
wakes
chalk
up,
it up? Yeah.
well, she'll probably scream as she wakes up, and takes her a bit to. Oh, it's just a dream. That probably startles the others because she probably screams loud. There's a lot of pent up tension over the last day.
Yeah, I think as you scream and wake them up, I mean, like, there's, like, light streaming in from the window. You don't know how. I mean, like, what the heck? You know, it's like, it's bright light. Like, it's full on morning, not early. And then, Mal, when you wake up, your feet hurt. Your heels hurt.
I should have slept in the bed. Oh. Just kind of
Yeah, you really should have.
massage the soles of his feet. Like, ow. I feel like they were just getting bitten. Maybe mosquitoes or something.
You see some bite marks on your heels and your feet.
Wow. Oh gosh. All right, mental note, don't sleep on the hardwood anymore. Oof. Ow.
Do you call attention to the bite marks, or you can keep that to yourself?
Uh, Gabrielle's right there, so I don't think he would make an active effort to hide it. Like, he's not gonna be like, "Hey, check out my feet." But yeah, he'd definitely be like, "Oh gosh, wow, my feet. There's bites all over them. Oh gosh, need to make sure that I don't sleep on the hardwood floor again, I guess."
Yeah, I'll sort of take a look, and yeah, these are chiselers. See the central incisors, big front teeth. Yeah, can't imagine where that's from. Just sort of look at the pipes.
Yeah, we have to. Maybe some of the pipes are like faulty, or got holes in them. Maybe the rats got out and got to us, I guess.
I mean, got out is a sort of would imply that they're kept in. There are openings. Have you not seen them?
I thought they were like in certain places, like maybe the rats have like certain rooms that they're allowed to kind of like that are theirs, but then there's our space as well. That's what I was assuming.
I mean, once a rat is out, you can't really stop it from going anywhere else.
Well, yeah, I guess I didn't really think about it that far ahead. I thought you might sequester certain like rooms or chambers off where they could walk around a bit, have some freedom.
Yeah, no, that's and Preston will go over to like the sort of boudoir area and pull out some like gauze and Neosporin and stuff and the whole shebang and be like, I don't know if you want me to be touching your here you go.
Oh yeah, I'll take care of things. And,
Gabrielle's, I'm just going to get changed and just stomp off to her room.
Yeah, no, this is concerning. We may want to bring this up to Mr. Maxim.
Yeah, if anything else, you should like know, because if this is like a structural thing, then he definitely wants to get those pipes repaired, right?
Yeah, no, for sure. Get those pipes repaired, but also, a concern because they've seemed quite friendly. So the fact that is a little concerning.
Rats everywhere. This place isn't right. Or it is too right. Landlord, tenant. Landlord, tenant. The man, you, the rats. Around and around the same rat race. You have to hold on just a bit longer. Take control. Demand your due. Who leaves Preston's room first?
Me, I was going to get changed.
Gotcha. I think as you're going out, Gabrielle, I think you see what look like bloody footprints leading to the landlord's bedroom.
Not coming from the landlord's bedroom, but leading to.
Leading to the landlord's bedroom.
Hang on, human or rat footprints?
Those are human footprints.
Right. I kind of look back into that room and then I got to get dressed either way. Getting changed.
So are you heading just go right to your bedroom, like all
Yep.
direct and stuff?
Yep.
Gotcha. All right. So I think you're pretty quick. So, if Mal is heading back to his room, I don't think he has caught up to you. In fact, Mal, when you leave Preston's bedroom, I think you see an interesting sight. I think you see the landlord with his skin missing, his body red and slick, marching to his bedroom, muttering, "Have to pay this rent. Have to pay this rent." What do you do? Or actually, at the sight of this, what do you feel?
Shock, horror, all the above. This does not compute. This is hard to rationalize.
Take a ruin roll, please.
Yeah.
Damn, you are a good rationalizer. I don't know, man.
So that's a 1 on the dice. How does Mal rationalize this in his head?
He's got some sort of skin cream he's rubbing on himself.
Yeah, his glasses, maybe he like needs to go and polish them. He can't see really well, so he's kind of so he has to like take his glasses off and like try and like polish them, rub them, and then by the time he gets his glasses back on, he looks back up and it's okay, I didn't just see that. That was my glasses. It's low light, there's candle, this place is lit very strangely. I'm just gonna ignore that and go. And also, it's before coffee, like we all see weird things before we've had that first cuppa, right? So we're gonna go get some fresher clothes on and head down to get our brewski in the morning.
And then, Preston, I think that when everyone else has left your room, I think you find... I can't remember if we said that you had a bed or something like that. I mean, like a desk. But I think...
Yeah, he's got like a vanity.
Okay. I think on the vanity then, as you're doing your, like, you're yawning, you're scratching of the head, and, like, possibly, like, just dropping your drawers any old way to change.
No, it's a good.
Yeah, I think you see what looks like legal documents on your vanity.
Yeah, he'll take a peeky poo.
Yeah. These legal documents specify you as the landlord, already signed by tenants in scratchy red ink.
It says I'm the landlord?
Yes.
Preston looks very perturbed. I think he actually walks out in like sort of Calvin Klein-esque boxer brief. Like, this is strange. And sort of ducks out of his room holding these papers and goes like to go knock on Rod's door.
The landlord's bedroom is open. Do you go in?
I think he like speaks at the door and he's like, Mr. Maxim, there's some kind of very strange error going on right now. It says I'm the landlord, that this property and everything in it is in my name.
You hear skittering. You can see the tubes from the opening in the doorway, but you don't see any rats. None. And you hear more of the skittering, but the skittering sounds from something larger.
Cool. You know what? If you're busy in there, I can find you later. But this is strange. And I think he goes to sort of back away from the door.
As you're
Very
backing
much.
away, you're hearing like the skittering, the loud, larger skittering come closer. Ever closer.
Preston is just vibing in this whole staying in the box. I'm not gonna touch it. Like,
take a ruin roll, please.
it was spicy. Ruin. A 2.
You are staying in that box and you are slamming that box shut.
Oh.
Holy
No,
crap,
thank you.
doodle do.
I think he does. He gets distracted by a different thought. And I think that's why he sort of almost abrupt face turns and goes back to his room and goes to look at the safe. And looks in this document that notates him as the landlord and see if he has any opening codes or something, or a key or something in this paper. If I'm the landlord, I can open this fucking box.
Well, these are documents that each of the tenants have signed.
Oh, okay. It's not.
You don't see anything. And you actually don't recognize any of the names.
I was just about to say, do I see like Mal's name or Gabrielle's name or Annabelle's?
These documents here that show that, or at least, show the tenants' names, none of these names. And they're all in this scratchy red ink. Deep red, almost brown.
He's just
I'm gonna say like this is gonna require another ruin roll.
Yeah, I was about to say this is some spicy McSpicers. Less than 1.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, Preston's just like staying in my box. Okay, you know what? I've got these. I think he, instead of clothes, he's gonna grab that robe and he's just gonna put these papers in the pocket and be like, you know what? I need something. Ed is gonna start heading towards the kitchen. It's just coffee, stimulant, alcohol.
Mm-hmm. Go for it.
So he's gonna make his way to the kitchen.
Okay. Now, you make your way back to your room. You've, I guess, rationalized the hell out of what you saw earlier. Do you get dressed quickly? Do you kind of try to distract yourself with something else in your room? What do you do?
Yeah, we're really hankering for that first cup of coffee after what we saw, because even though we were able to rationalize it, like, that was still weird, and boy, we like to get a little bit of caffeine. But I think then maybe there's a little, like, since he has his iPod, maybe the room has some kind of dock that lets him, play it as speakers. So yeah, he pops on some light poppy, some more of that indie rock kind of stuff, just to actually just to make it thematic and to bring it back. He puts on the Lacey Expectations LP from Blackberry Days. He hasn't thought about them in a long time. And he misses listening to them. So yeah, he pops that on as he's getting dressed quickly, but he's gonna throw on some music as he does so.
Okay. I think when the song finishes, you can almost consider it like a montage of you getting changed quickly as the song is going on. But I think as the song is ending and you reach for the iPod to change it out or to go to the next song, what have you, you notice there are bloody fingerprints on your iPod.
Check our own hands first. Wow, maybe I must have gotten some blood when I was cleaning my feet and just never noticed it till now.
So imagine that your camera, your vision is like a camera. So you're seeing this iPod in front of you and you see the bloody fingerprints and then you notice it's yours. Like your fingertips are bloody. Ooh. And then when you bring the iPod down, you see in front of you, like maybe you ended up by your desk. In the middle of your desk, on top of certain thing or whatever's on there, you see a document. It looks like it's written in legalese, but you're not sure because the script, the font, it's quite alien and it's incomprehensible. But on the bottom is your signature done up very sloppily, very hastily, in a fat hand, a fat script. And you see a fingerprint or two next to it.
Those aren't our fingerprints on the document. Those
Oh no, it's
else's.
your fingerprint.
Oh.
Because it looks like you signed it with your own bloody fingertips. Please take a ruin roll.
Okay. Only if it's less than 3, and it is currently 3.
Wow, man, you guys are like, this dice roller loves you guys today, I have to say.
Yeah.
Think about how you're rationalizing this if you're heading down to get some food and coffee.
Yeah, we'll take the documents with us. Maybe one of the other tenants knows something about legalese and can guide us through what exactly is going on. Maybe we signed it. We did drink alcohol a couple nights ago at that, potluck, that first dinner. I don't remember getting drunk, but maybe, possibly. Sometimes people don't remember everything they do when they drink.
How did the playlist change? I like that question. Thank you, Gabrielle.
How did the playlist change? I think the stuff that he's listening to now is definitely stuff. Let's see. Because we're at Ruin 3, I think the playlist is going to start including more Evanescence is the closest thing I can think to. Some stuff with a little bit more edge, some stuff with a little bit more bleed to it. Like if the stuff that Mal listened to when he first came in was, more ska, more trumpet, more bright and poppy, this is definitely more towards the edge. More, the lyrics are definitely more pained and tortured. And deeper subject material than what he was normally listening to when he first came in.
Absolutely. Gabrielle, you're in your room, getting changed. Are you doing it? Well, tell me what it looks like when you get into your room.
I think she quickly goes to get changed, and then she sort of thinks, hang on. Rats smell. Peeks out, notices Preston go down the hall, waits a second, and then goes into Preston's room and puts one of his shirt and pants on. Because she's like, he was friends with the rats. He gave them popcorn. So I'm going to confuse the little buggers. And yeah, she's going to wear one of his shirts and pants.
I think you're smaller than him, though, so I think it
Oh,
looks
yes,
like
they're not going to fit at all.
Right, like you're wearing your boyfriend's clothes, basically, is what it looks like, wearing a shirt, and then, like, the trousers you have to kind of, like, like, roll up just to make sure that they're not, like, slopping on you like a 5-year-old kid, As you come out of Preston's room, you do notice that the landlord's bedroom is open.
Did you hear anything?
You hear what sounds like a blower, and you can feel like some hot air.
Yeah, what the hell is that? Damn, I want some answers. I'm sick of this. All right, let's go in there.
Okay. I think when you go into the landlord's bedroom, it's like down a hall a little bit, and then it's almost like a kind of like one of the fancier hotel rooms where, like, you go down the hall, and then maybe there's a bathroom like off to the side, and then you see like the grander bedroom open space beyond. And I think it's a room bigger than yours, than everybody's, and you feel the heat. And it's wet. It's like very humid. And you see what looks like the basement door.
Were we on the second story or something?
You're on the second story. But I mean, it's the basement. You recognize it as the basement door because it's partially open. And this is where the air is blowing out of.
Well, I'm not going to waste this opportunity. I'll have a look.
Yeah. Door's open. And from where you are,
I mean,
right
I'm not
now,
charging in there, but I'm creeping in. I'm trying to be stealthy and sneak in there.
right? What you can see is down some stairs are shelves lined with stacks of cellophane wrapped money, packets upon packets of this from your vantage point.
But the corridor keeps going.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically you got to go down the stairs. Like, all you can see is like these shelves lined with stacks of money.
This is day 4, isn't it?
It is. It is.
Yeah, I'm going to take a stack under each arm and just run back to my bedroom. And if to survive one night, stuff, I'm taking the cash.
Nice. Nice. Take a ruin roll, please. Okay.
There you go. Someone's failing.
I mean, we'll see. I mean, so, and after you grab the cash and I guess stow it away, also remembering that, the safe, the time lock safe is still ticking down.
I'm thinking there's a trunk at the foot of the bed because I had like a satin bed and stuff, and I just put the money in there.
Okay. There's something else in there too. Reminds you of your drive. What do you see? It wasn't there before.
Maybe some like deeds to certain real estate places where it's cheap because there was a death there 20 years ago or whatever, so they've been having trouble selling it. Deceased estate, we call it here, but yeah.
Okay. Yeah. You see that, like, at the bottom of the trunk.
Okay.
What do you think upon seeing that? Seeing those.
Sweet. I'll look into it more later. Now I'm just getting the money in. Because she's a little bit of ashamed of her behaviour, so...
Gotcha. Okay. And then Mal and Preston. I think you each will find yourselves down in the kitchen. But even though that you probably should have passed each other, you probably would have passed each other, for some reason, the camera is seeing a split screen. Mal, it is, I'm gonna say midday. It's like the sun is high in the sky, although it's like there's a bit of somehow there's a bit of fog, like caressing the ground, even though it should have burned off by now. And Preston, when you enter the kitchen, it's starting to become dusk. It's almost as if, somehow the day has passed you by. Well, when you were woken by Gabrielle initially, I mean, it was full light outside. But
Yeah.
somehow, yeah, you've made it to almost dinner time. And, yeah. Stuff is there in the kitchen for you two. I mean, what you expect to see. Some favorite dishes or, things that you can grab and go. What are you thinking? What are you grabbing? And do you go anywhere?
I think Preston is like discombobulated by the timing difference, and he gets like some fresh orange juice and is just sort of sipping it like a little dazed and haphazard. Like he doesn't, like, just something isn't adding up. Like he's pulled those papers again, they're on the table. He's looking at his own wrist for a second, almost like he's searching for a watch, because maybe he would have had one. And he's looking around the room for like a clock of some kind on the wall.
There's no clock. And all you see is the dimming light from outside. You are getting food, I assume.
I think he's just got the orange juice right now.
Because you're feeling, if that's so, then you're feeling like part of your body is weak. Weak from hunger. Or maybe not carrying its weight. Maybe not paying its rent. It must be evicted. Mal, you're in the kitchen. Do you grab anything? Eat anything? Make some coffee?
Yeah, definitely doing that artisanal coffee brew again. Toast butter, probably some scrambled eggs. Remembering the dream about the basement door, we might kind of curiously glance over at it as, you know, the coffee is brewing, because that'll take a few minutes.
I think as you're looking towards the basement door, you start feeling like your feet, skin on your feet, is itching and burning, like it's not your own. You might start thinking that it's like being scalded by the coffee, but you're not near the coffee maker. You're not near the steam. It just feels like it's, you want to scratch it. You want to tear it off. And then, Gabrielle, after you're looking at these documents, are you making your way out and down? Or are you...
I'm going to go and look at the architect plan that was in like the drawing room, the lounge room before. Because I want to see, is there like a storm cellar, an outside entrance into the basement?
You can go and look at it. When you go and look, you don't see a sign of it, of the other two.
Okay.
And you notice that the light from the windows is dimming. And somehow, from the time that it took you to get dressed and then get downstairs, after grabbing the money, of course, it's somehow nighttime.
Right.
Fully dark. And the schematic no longer looks like the schematic that you remember seeing before.
Because I've got architecture, so I would know. It's like,
Correct.
That's
Oh,
not,
yeah.
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 All
It
right.
seems to be... It seems to look like... Before, where it looked like sketches with like the blue pencil and such, now it looks scratchy. Almost as if something with little tiny finger paws was making it with their little nails.
Great.
And on this, we close out day 4. We're going to take another 10-minute break, and then we're going to have a breakneck day 5. It's ramping up now. Sorry. Although, for some reason, Mal just seems to be holding it together because he is able to rationalize the shit out of this stuff. So,
Listen, Mal's
amazing.
just a cool guy.
Hold on.
He's just so cool. Chillest dude ever.
Mal's just
Chillest.
channeling full himbo energy.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, gosh. Although, I mean, everybody else seems to be holding pretty together as well. So, I mean, like, nobody's actually.
I've hit my level and I'm just sticking to it.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, although, I mean, probably could risk more, but we'll see what it looks like in day 5. All right. So 10 minutes, which should bring us back to the 21 mark. Okay.
Awesome.
All righty. See you in 10. All right. So we have all of our characters in different times. And 2 of them are in the kitchen and 1 is in the lounge, I believe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, let me start with Gabrielle. Well, let me start with the intro to day 5. Everywhere is owned by someone else. Everything is rented. This house is a body, and you are parasites inside. You are the house, and your tenants are waiting. Ascend, descend. The cycle goes forever. Diminishing returns. Matryoshka dolls of debt. An economy paid in flesh. Gabrielle, I'm thinking that as your eyes come from looking at this schematic that does not look like it was on day 1, I think you somehow see a door that is opened up in the corner of this room. You're not sure whether it was there before, but if you happen to let your eyes drift back to the schematic, there is something that would be in that spot, and it's marked in a splash of red. When you turn back to the door, it slowly opens with a skittering creak, and you see it's wet and it's red inside.
I'm gonna run to the kitchen because that's normally where the guys are.
In the kitchen, Mal, I think you were keeping an eye on the basement door, correct?
Yes.
Like as you were making your coffee?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think as you're looking at the basement door, it also starts to open. And you feel that hot, wet air coming from it. It's not dark. You can sort of see like flickers of light coming from it. And you see on the inside, you don't see any of those locks that Preston was talking about. You see, again, it's kind of wet, slick looking, dark. Preston, I don't know if were watching the basement door or if you were just musing while you were eating your food.
I think at this point he has started crushing some pills to put into his orange juice. Because this is getting to be a lot, and he hasn't seen anyone, and it's been a hot second.
Do you drink the juice, or do you
Oh, yeah.
kind of like okay? I think as you're drinking the juice, your eyes stray open to one of the tubes in the kitchen. And in this tube, you see a huge rat. Now, these weren't small tubes to begin with, and you see the gilding and all this kind of stuff. But you see a huge rat. Like, it's almost like, how is that able to still move in there? But it is. As it's moving, it's starting to bulge and pulse in places.
You doing okay in there, Benny buddy?
It
Press
just looks
sort
at
of like,
you. Mm-hmm.
yeah, just one hand that gets up, has the juice in one hand, and sort of makes his way towards the tube a little.
Yep.
I-
It's looking at you, yeah. I mean, it's still kind of coming towards you through the tube, making its way, crawling on its, like, humongous belly. And again,
How
it's
big are
bulging.
we talking here? Like, are we talking like Labrador Retriever? Are we talking like the cute cat that keeps walking past Kevin's screen? Like, what size is this? Is this rat?
A little smaller than the cute cat.
Yeah, cute cat.
But I mean, like, it still fits in the tube.
It's still
just
cute.
like,
Yeah.
how?
Okay.
And as you
Does
see it, go ahead.
oh, he's like talking out loud. He's like, "Does Mr. Maxim keep a vet number somewhere? You doing good, buddy?"
As you get closer and he slows down and it bulges and pulses, when you get right up to it, the rat opens their mouth as if to say something to you, and then it splits open cleanly. But what you see spilling out of it as you're drinking your juice with the pills are miniature humans spilling out into the tube from this deflated rat skin. Please take a ruin roll.
Spicy. Oh,
Yes.
6.
Yep.
I go up 1 to 5.
Yep. And this means reduction roll. And what that means is when you get to that point, you are so on the edge and you can act in the environment's, this haunted place's interests, destroying, well, what you came here for, or betraying or sabotaging your fellow tenants. Reduction roll will reduce your ruin no matter what, but depending on how you roll will determine whether the others know that you're betraying them, or if you can keep it hidden.
Yeah, I think we get this scene as it sort of, this rat splits open and Preston's eyes go wide and he reaches in and scoops a handful of these tiny people. And he walks out of the kitchen towards the hall of rooms. And he sets some of them down by Mal's room and some of them down by Gabrielle's room. And they just, these little tiny people. And he just says something isn't right, or this is a trip, But either way, I think you should keep an eye out because frankly, they were rude the other night. I haven't seen them. There's this thing about are you my new tenants? Well, if you're my new tenants, um, keep an eye out for me.
I think they all run to the, like, in front into the
Yeah.
respective rooms that you've told them to.
Yes.
And then they will proceed to go into the tubes, into
so I'm
holes
gonna-
that you didn't see before.
Yeah, I didn't notice, but now I notice as he just sort of finishes the orange juice and just fucking chucks the glass, just chucks it into the hallway. I'm assuming I should roll a reduction roll. Yay, nay? You're muted.
I did not see it. Did you? Did it take?
Oh no,
you?
I didn't. I was asking if I should.
Yes. Sorry, I was muted then.
That's okay.
All right. So yeah, you're down to 4 again, and then you
Okay.
are not noticed, in doing this.
Yeah, so he chucks the empty glass, down the hallway,
Mm-hmm.
and is going to go searching for Mr. Maxim because things are getting really out of hand right now.
Okay. So, I think, Gabrielle, you run into the kitchen, and I think you do run in there, and I think you see Mal. Mal, I think you're concentrating on your skin at the moment, and you didn't see that the light had changed, well, for you. And it is now nighttime, as Gabrielle saw in the lounge. What do you do when you see... Well, Gabrielle, what do you do when you see Mal?
I'd say, Mal, the floor plan changed, and there's like a tunnel or a room that wasn't there before.
That's really weird. I found these documents in my room. I must have signed them maybe like that first night when we were drinking, but like, this is starting to get really weird.
But whether we could stay or we could go, but either way we should do it together, because where's Annabel? Where's Preston? Just...
Oh man. Yeah, well,
The basement door is open. And you see what Mal saw, Gabrielle, just so you know.
do you think he went in the basement?
Hey, Preston?
Yeah.
Possibly.
I mean, Annabelle wasn't here long, but she seemed to be much more keen on exploring this place. Preston, he found the sauna, so we know he's not opposed to walking around.
He seems to like it here. What the...
I mean, we're not supposed to go in the basement, but let's just go over to the basement door and call out Preston's name.
Yeah. Is there a fire in the lounge room? Like a fireplace?
I think I said that there was. And
Ah,
even if
right,
there
I'm
isn't,
gonna
it's
go
like
for
it's
the-
changed now. It's
Yeah.
changed.
I'm going to grab the fire poker and just... because I've got nothing else. And then,
Sure.
yeah, we'll yell out Preston at the basement door.
Preston, you're on your way downstairs. And you hear this. Do you respond?
downstairs towards the basement?
Well, I mean, like, you are on your way from the upstairs.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he'll pause and be like, "Yeah, Gabrielle, you called? What's up?"
Just come to the lounge room for a minute.
Yeah, sure. And he'll come in, and he looks a little bit out of it, like there's some red haze probably around his eyes, and that maybe things like that. He strolls
I
in barefoot, robe.
I think you two see something a little bit more than that.
Oh.
I think as Preston enters the room, he's feeling hazy. He's feeling like, red-eyed or whatever from what he took and what he saw. But I think you two see. What are you wearing? Well, first of all, let me ask, like, Preston, what are you wearing? Are you only wearing the
He's
boxer
wearing,
briefs and the robe?
yeah, boxer briefs, robe.
Yeah, I think you two see that he has patches of fur in strange places on his body, and then his nails and his teeth look a little longer than they should. But other than that, it's like it's the same old, handsome Preston.
I think I'll say, have you seen Annabel or Rod around?
No, I haven't. I was actually looking for Rod. I found these strange papers in my room, and he'll pull out the papers from the pocket that have these new tenant names in this russet color and that list him as the landlord.
I think as you're in this room, I think all of you hear something different because the skittering and the chirping or the chittering of the rats has increased. You don't see more rats, you just hear them. And it's dark in this room because I don't think anybody really turned on any lights, and it's nighttime outside. Preston, you hear, "This place, everything you ever wanted, everything is provided. Find others, pay your rent, live like this forever." I think, Mel, you will hear, "The landlord is rich. You could take his place, wear his skin, collect his rent, be powerful." And Gabrielle, you hear, "You can be rich. You can own. You can be your own person. You can be many people. You just need the resources and control them all." And there's that basement door, wide open, inviting for anyone that wants to go.
I'm going to say, Preston, shall we? Sort of, gesture for him to go first.
Well, actually, the paper, and he sort of drifts off a little as he's squinting at these tenant names and looking at them. And does it still say on this rental agreement to not go into the basement?
For everyone's agreement that you see there,
Mm-hmm.
it says that they, under no circumstances, should go into the basement.
If you wish to proceed, but and he like sort of holds the paper out. I could stand up here and keep an eye out.
Mhm. You want me to keep an eye out and you're going to go in?
No. The opposite. I'm a lawyer. I don't really want. I signed one of these. We signed them.
Yes, we did.
Although, maybe Malcolm, do you want to go down?
No. I just want to get through tonight. What? This is starting to get real weird. Because I've got these weird documents too, and it showed that I signed them, but I don't know when or when I could have. I don't want to go down there.
Can I see the documents that he's talking about? Are you holding them out?
Yeah, I think I still have them in my hand.
Yeah, I want to take a peek at the documents that Mal has.
I think when you see them, when you see them, Preston, I think you're going to see that the document has his bloody signature. You're actually going to be able to smell the dried blood as if it was fresh. And then you'll notice that you smell the same thing at the bottom of your packet of documents. And there it is. A legal document stating that you're the landlord, signed by Mel Tanser.
And he just takes like a deep inhale. Well, since I am your landlord, theoretically, according to these papers, Mal, I absolve you of the contraction that says you can't go in the basement. You may go there. See, legal loophole.
Okay. All right. Well. Oh man. I guess you guys stay up here. Don't let anything happen. And I'll just go take a quick look, and I'll be right back.
Yeah, no, you're doing a favor. Thank you. Tenants, help out sometimes. It's a thing,
And yeah, we're gonna full on horror movie slow walk down the stairs.
I think as you're making your way now, before I describe this, Gabrielle, what are you doing?
I'm just going to keep an eye on both of them, sort of looking back and forth.
I think. So you're watching, and I assume you still have that poker in your hand.
Yep.
Okay. I think when you begin to descend the steps into the basement, Mal, I think it's going to start to close the door behind you. Not you, something else. And you feel like you, instead of stepping, you're sliding into the dark, wet redness of this hallway down which becomes a tunnel. And you end up being taken in by this. Preston, Gabrielle, you can see the door close behind
Can I use the poker
Mal.
to keep it open?
Sure. Absolutely.
gonna say
Let's
the-
go ahead and do a risk for this one.
Poker.
Yeah. Well,
Much
I mean,
better
let me
than
ask you
Preston's first.
before we possibly do a risk roll, are you doing anything to prevent Gabrielle from doing this, Preston?
No, if anything, Preston was going to try and put his foot. Oh God, he's barefoot. Oh God, yeah. Even though he's barefoot, I think he goes to like put his foot there because that's like the first instinct is to sort of stop it.
Right. Okay. Well, there's no help in this function, but I'm going to say, Gabrielle, you're going to risk. So let's see. All right. I'm gonna say like your construction, would allow you to think of ways to kind of prop this open and prevent it from closing. And then, so that gets you your first light die, and then your dark die, of course, is risking your body at this point, because, things can go wrong as you're doing this. So let's do that first. Mal, what do you think can go wrong if Gabrielle fails?
The easy answer is, by some happenstance, Gabrielle winds up on the wrong side of the door. I don't really know how to make that happen without shenanigans, but that's like the instant knee-jerk thing that comes to mind is
Sure.
Either that or the poker.
It snaps and a bit goes in my eye. I stagger forward.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
And I know
She
you already
slips on the
rolled.
blood.
I can roll again. Doesn't matter.
Okay. And then Preston, offer a devil's bargain if you want to give, if Gabrielle wants to get a second light die, no matter what.
Yeah, I think the devil's bargain is you can keep this door open, but you have to be holding it open from the opposite side.
You mean like be within the door?
Yeah, you can keep the doorway open, but to do so, you must, be on the opposite side.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, that sounds fair, because she's got architecture. She would think she could do that.
Yeah. I mean,
I think
sure.
I think the thing that could go wrong is, in order to keep the door open, it has to be damaged. The poker damaged it in such a way that makes it very clear if Rod Maxim was to come down and look that one of us messed with the door.
I can tell you another way it goes wrong as well.
Okay.
The smell of fresh blood sets off Preston, and he's, Gabrielle looks tasty.
You
Mm.
smell
Boy.
very good.
Well, that's a like, if it goes wrong, but devil's bargain. Which of the devil's bargain do you, if you want a second light die?
Yeah, I'll go with the one where I'm stuck on the other side, because I know architecture. I know how to do this. I just prop myself here and I'm good.
Okay. Alrighty.
Let's go.
Okay.
333.
Okay. All right. So 3 is a fail. Let me see. I think. Just double check that roll. Risk roll. Devil's bargain. 3 fail. Okay. Things get worse. Describe how. Or allow you to succeed, but things will get worse somehow.
Bring it on.
Yeah. Okay. I think you will be able to, that you have to be within the door. Like, you have to actually, get inside it to be able to try to, get this to work. And you can keep the door open, so this way Mal is, able to get back. However, you discover that when you step in through the door, it stays open, but then you're swallowed up inside, just like Mel was. You both disappear down into the basement. Yeah. Preston,
Yeah.
you see this, and it's
I
almost
think-
like I think what you see, like, you know, from your perspective, I think you see as Gabrielle's trying to keep the door open with the poker, and she does, but she and Mal are absorbed into this, like as if the dark red wet slick surface had taken them in. It almost looks like they have slipped into a throat, a maw, and then what comes up to cover them looks like some kind of tongue. Take a ruin roll,
think-
please.
Oh, okay. That is a 3.
Okay.
And I think there's this uneerie calmness, this eerie sort of calmness to Preston as he sort of sees this, and he bends down and just sort of like pets the edge of the tongue, and then smiles a little, and it's just like, rent, and goes to pull the door shut.
From the inside. So
No, from the
Oh.
exterior where he's standing.
Gotcha.
He like pet the tongue and was like, yeah, rent, and goes to like shut the door.
Okay.
Just a little adult.
Okay.
Yeah.
When you two come out at the other end of this tunnel, this slickness, I think you get this feeling of being like, not launched, what's the word? It's like,
Dropped.
no, not dropped, it's like burst out of
Oh,
this.
okay.
Like you're feeling wet and damp, like all over when you come out of this tunnel. And then there's dim light here. There's like flickering from someplace. And you see each other, and you are looking at each other through this kind of like sticky haze. But what you see is that you see the other person with whiskers and claws and teeth. Please make a ruin roll, both of you.
Finally, yes. Ruin.
Finally. Okay. All right. So, Gabrielle, I believe that puts you up to 5, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, I think in this space, I think you are seeing each other, but then you're also seeing, okay, how to explain this? This is a big room. There are lights flickering because it looks like it's kind of like a fluorescence, like behind, like formed glass in the corners to provide light for rats. Many rats on tables and desks in this place. And it looks like they're all signing these papers with claws, like dipping them into blood, writing documents in strange scripts. endlessly back and forth, all of them working on this. Gabrielle, you're entitled to a reduction roll at this point. You can reduce your ruin. You can do something to prove your worth to this place, this space.
I think she would just want to flee. I think she would just, be frantically trying to find an exit.
Okay. When you do, you're not really upright anymore. You are scrabbling down on all fours. Beyond this big room, you do see like hallways. I imagine that you rush here through those hallways.
Mhm.
Mal, what are you thinking? What are you doing?
Oh yeah, it's time to run. We're in that same exact boat. I think if there's a moment of parity between the two of them down there, it's like a, you know, screw the competition. It's time to leave. Forget
Got
the
it.
money and run. This is we're in survival mode now.
Gotcha. Okay. Preston, you can, as you're moving away from the door, you're seeing the tubes, and like these rats are starting to scurry through. And then they are coming out of holes that you didn't quite see before. Maybe it's because you're addled, maybe it's because you're, I don't know, something. Like you feel your eyes getting closer and smaller. Maybe
Yeah,
you lift up your hands in front of your face and see.
Yeah, he definitely does that. He goes to sand.
Where does he go?
To his face. Yeah, he lifts his hand to his face.
Yeah. He starts
Mr.
seeing,
Pretzel is-
the nails being longer. Maybe more gnarled now because, like, you can't quite straighten them out. You
That's not.
can only hold them curved.
No. He's gonna try and find a bathroom.
Okay.
Looking for a sink and a mirror, maybe.
Gotcha. Back to the two of you going into this place. As you're running through, I mean, like, I don't think you're together. I think like Gabrielle, like, burst ahead, and then you may or may not be able to see her, Mal. As you're going through these hallways, you start feeling like through your skin, like they're being clawed. You have this feeling of rats crawling into the spaces you're leaving behind as you're trying to look for an egress through this space, this place. Same for you, Mal. Go ahead and let's start with Gabrielle. Risk roll. Construction and architecture is definitely giving you your first light die. Dark die is because of the risk to mind and body. Before you roll, let's go over what could go wrong. Preston, what could go wrong as Gabrielle's making her frantic way out of this place, or she thinks?
Very simply, you could slip and fall, and you could get trapped to this ground. It's wet and it's red and it's sticky, and you know if you fall, you're not getting back up. Not alone, at least.
Okay. And Mel, do you want to suggest a devil's bargain? No matter what.
Say that no matter what, she gets separated from Mal, and the two are unable to help each other.
Yeah, I'll take that because that's in genre. I think that's very. They all get separated and things go worse. Yeah.
Okay, so 2 light, 1 dark. All right. Goes up by 1.
If it's 5, but because it's only 5, so it sits at 5. Oh.
Okay. Well, you reduced it when you did the last reduction roll. So
I didn't do one.
I thought you did.
Nope.
Mm-mm.
Oh,
Just ran.
No, I just fled.
okay. Okay. All right. So, well, I mean, you can do a reduction roll now if you want. So you succeed to try to find an egress out of this place. But yeah, your ruin is going up. I think you see up ahead. I think you see the figure of Rod Maxim. Like he's kind of like waving you on. Like there's a it's not a door per se. It's more like a panel. Like, one of those dumb waiters. And like he's kind of like waving you in. It's like, "Come on, darling. Come on." It's like, "You want out? I get it. Come on."
All right, head for that.
And then Mal, I need you to do a risk roll as well. You want to do light 4. Come on. Don't know if you have
I
an
need to take a
appropriate.
devil's bargain to get
Yeah.
a light die.
Yeah, I would think so. Yep. So, dark die risk to mind and body. What can go wrong? I'm gonna say again, like you're gonna lose. Gabrielle, maybe you get lost, maybe you find yourself in a different place. So, devil's bargain. Whomever wants to offer one.
Your iPod breaks.
Oh, yes, the most sinister bargains.
I was gonna say he loses his glasses.
Oh gosh,
Ooh.
classic. Okay. Alrighty. Do you want any of those?
I'm fully willing to say that no matter what, he loses his glasses.
Okay. Alrighty. So, 1 light, 1 dark.
5 on the light, and that is the higher.
Okay. You want to stick it? You want to just keep it?
I'm gonna, since I have the opportunity to, and because we're pushing for it, I am gonna go for the reroll.
Okay.
So it's 1 light, 2 dark now.
Yes.
Spicy.
There it is.
There it is.
6 on
There
the
it
dark
is.
die.
Yep. So ruin goes up. I think at this point you see Rod Maxim like waving you on and such, but I think you both hear a murmur. You don't see him say it, but you hear a murmur of like, "I can only take 1 up here. 1 at a time. The house is closing in. Which one of you is it?" So, to do the reduction roll, or actually no, this is a contest, I would imagine. We're at the end. So, contest roll. if you want to see it.
Ooh.
Stakes.
I was going to say, can I just say, you go. I'm going to make this place is mine, and Preston's going to pay.
Ooh.
Oh.
Well, I mean, if that's the case, if you really want to do that, I mean, you can do the...
Well, that's what she'll say. What does Mel respond, I guess?
Oh God, he's been so compliant up until this point. Do
you want to risk or do you want to reduce? Because reducing means that you're going to have to betray Gabrielle.
Yeah, I guess, I mean, if leaving her behind on her recommendation is a betrayal, then yes, I will.
Okay.
But if she's asking, I almost kind of feel like it's more of just a risk roll just to get to Maxim. But yeah, if Gabrielle's offering, then what Mal is going to say is, I'm going to get help and I'm going to get back here. I'm going to come back.
Okay. Alrighty. Risk. So.
Okay.
You're going to, well, again, devil's bargain, because I don't think you have a related skill at the moment or anything.
Nope.
Unless he's praying.
I don't think God is in this place.
No. So
No,
definitely dark die for the risk, and then one light die for a devil's bargain. No matter what do you think is going to happen? Anybody?
I think Mal's. So I remember from the contract that like it was called out all of our backgrounds, saying I don't want any pet owners, goths, junkies, or priests.
Mm-hmm.
Mal has a cross on a necklace.
Ooh.
And I think, oh gosh, I think what I'm afraid will go wrong, I don't want this to be a devil's bargain, but I think what I'm afraid will go wrong is Mal took it out when they got into the basement, and Rod will see it and shut him off.
Right. Okay. So that's what could go wrong. Anybody have a devil's bargain that no matter what?
I think no matter what, you are going to feel like your relationship with God is forever ruined because you have because you are using him as a bargaining chip in this moment, and your relation to him is a bargaining chip. Or them, it, she, etc.
I'm fine with that.
So the devil's bargain is to, I'm sorry.
Lose your faith, I guess.
Loses faith, yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Anybody have any other suggestions, or is that?
Nah.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. So one
light, one dark.
Here we go. There it is.
Oh,
it's a 6 on the dark die, baby.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, spicy.
Spicy. All right. I already know how this is going to turn out, but.
I have an idea as well, but.
Yeah. But let's deal with you, because, I mean, I think in this case, I mean, like, Preston sounds like he wants to be, the fucking landlord and, like, rule this place. But then, like, you want out or you want to get back at him. So. Yeah, because it's like, I'm right up until the end, and I'm so sorry if I'm like trying to rush this. Let's make this a contest roll with some stakes here so we can see what this looks like. All right. So, Gabrielle, how do you think you're going to try and stick it to Preston?
I'm gonna get close to him by saying I paid the rent. I got rid of Rod.
Okay.
And then I'll stab him with just like a knife in the kitchen or something.
Okay. Alrighty. And then Preston,
Yes.
I'm gonna say. Well, yeah. Let's go ahead and make this like a kind of like a stalking thing. It's like so you do end up in the same place. Like Gabrielle is here saying this to you, but you want to rule. So, what are you willing to do to make sure that happens?
I think he pulls out one of the papers and looks at her and says, "You are my tenant, and you need to stop with this behavior. It's unacceptable, and the other tenants will forcibly remove you if you cannot behave."
Okay.
She'll scream, "I don't care," and tries to stab it.
All right. Contest
Yeah.
roll. All right. So the way the contest roll works is before anybody does a roll off, okay? So the way it works is that you're acting against each other, compete, or want to inflict harm on each other. First agree with what's at stake. Then each competing player gathers one light die if your occupation or background gives you an advantage. Planning, I'm going to say Gabrielle's got that. And then for Preston, determination for sure. Okay. There's no negotiating in this shit right now. And then for every point of ruin you have, you gain a light die. Okay. So for Gabrielle, that's 6 light die. And then for Preston, that's 5 light die. Okay. Now, you both get 1 dark die for being inherently dangerous. Okay. And then you add as many dark die as you want. Okay. So, again, Preston has 5 light die. Gabrielle has 6. Then you guys would choose how many dark die you want to play.
Choose 2.
Okay. Well, you don't have to say.
Okay.
But you plug it into the thing, but don't hit roll yet. Okay. So you
What
plug
is
it into the contest roll.
is there some kind of cost with adding extra dark die? How does that work?
Yes, because for every okay, so basically, when you do the roll off, you count any die that comes up 6s. In the case of a tie, count 5s and 4s until a winner is determined. Okay, but for each dark die that comes up as 1, you add more ruin.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So once you decide how many dark die you want to put in the roller, let me know, and then we will go ahead and have you roll so we can see it.
Okay.
Whenever
I'm ready.
you're ready. Gabrielle, ready?
Yep.
Roll. Okay. All right. Oof. Okay. So we have no dark die, which are 1s, so that's good. But okay, so looks like Preston won. It's 6. 2 6s. So, Preston, tell us how you dispatch. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I think that she goes to lunge for him, and his hand that had sort of become gnarled and had this patch of fur on it, the fur almost jumps off and animates into a rat. And the rat, for some reason, we get a look in its eyes, and its eyes aren't rat-like. It's actually like Annabelle's eye. And this rat, like his hand goes back to normal as this rat sort of leaps out of it and just bites into Gabrielle's jugular.
Does he say, "You wearing my shirt"?
Oh, yeah. I think an additional rat jumps out from somewhere and unbuttons the shirt so it doesn't get bloody.
Maybe it comes out of the shirt. We don't know. Holy crap.
I think he literally looks down at her and he's like, "I wore it better," as she's like bleeding out on the ground.
Oh my gosh.
He like reaches out and like strokes this fucking feral rat's back.
Yeah. All right. So we're going to end with Mal, and then, like, you guys have an opportunity to do some epilogues. So with Mal, I think you reach your ruin. I think...
Can I make a suggestion?
Yeah, go ahead. I mean, I have one too, but I mean, like, I'm
Yeah,
curious
it's
to
just
see
an
what you
idea.
say.
He gets to the gate and Annabelle's there without eyes, and she lunges for him, and then credits.
Oh,
Wow. That's an idea. But I'm also thinking, I think you managed to get to Rod. I'm going to include that Annabelle one or a minute, or you can include it in yours. That's fine. But I think when you get to Rod and you get into the dumbwaiter, I think, how you feeling? You feeling okay?
No, I'm scared out of my wits. We need to get out of here.
Well, just so you know, there's really only one way out. And he will essentially, and this is a bit ridiculous, but a bit scary as well, he will reach up behind his head and then pull down. And then you see the swarm of rats spilling out of this Rod Maxim man suit. And then coming and overwhelming you in this dumbwaiter. And I think you will, or the audience will, see or pan back from the dumbwaiter panel and hear screaming. You have an opportunity to do epilogues as we close out of day 5. So this is where, if you died, then you would say how the world is affected, or like what happens in the world after you're gone.
Maybe some of the people touch the money in the chest, and they just look a little bit like Gabrielle in different ways as they start getting bigger.
And then you would, not implicate anybody else's character per se, but then you would, just say what, and if you survived, what you're doing now. Okay? And it could be any time after this ended.
Rachel, the girl from Austin, Texas, maybe a year or two later, on a random whim, she realizes that she hasn't been on Facebook in a long time. She goes and searches for Mal, and he hasn't updated any of his social media. So it looks like he just went kind of full underground, which isn't the most out of character thing. And she decides to write him a letter at his last known address, or she did decide to write him a letter, and now we're seeing maybe about a week later, and it just comes back, and there is a return to sender notice, and at the corner of it, what looks like a little red smear of blood on the edge of the envelope. And that's the only clue that she gets.
I have an idea, but let me know. I don't know if I hope this is okay, because I don't know what if it borders on the line of touching another character or not. But I think it's quite soon after that whole thing, and we watch as Preston is sort of standing, and he's got his hands on these ropes, and he's manually tugging that elevator up, and then he opens it to this swarm of rats, that are there. And he scoops them up into his arms and says, I told you before, there's plenty of room together. It's all right to touch. And he like takes these rats and he like places them on his back, and it shifts, like how that gray part of him before had become a rat to sort of launch out and attack Gabrielle, as at the base of his spine a long spindly tail sort of grows and shifts, and these rats disappear. Whatever converged, and this elevator is now empty, and he just walks back through his home.
I'm sorry. Did we disturb you too much, Blake?
No, for a second I thought he was going to put a bunch of them on the bed and say, we don't have to space out, there's plenty of room.
Plenty of room on the bed, a snuggle party.
Well, he can have a big one now. Oh my gosh. Gabrielle, anything further?
Well, yeah, no, she's dead. So yeah, no, that's it.
All right.
We just see a couple little rats dragging the body.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so we are in for it for the stars and wishes. Stars, anything that you enjoyed from the gameplay, each other's role play, from this session or from the last session or from overall. And wishes, I mean, maybe things that you wish you had seen, or, if you were going to possibly play this again, and, not necessarily with me, but with, other people, or if you wanted to run it, what would you wish for? All right. I'm going to start, and I'm going to say, thank you very much for your patience in dealing with this. I'm sorry. It's like, I felt like I was like in a bit of an off headspace because of the way my morning went, and I apologize for that. But I hope you still had a great experience with this game, with this incursion. And then, I mean, you guys leaned in so well. I mean, the horror tropes, I mean, I could see this movie happening. I mean, you were like, oh my God, but then you were also in it. And it's like all those moments were wonderful. I mean, I was pretty much pulling everything from the module. So, I mean, it's all in there, and it's pretty damn creepy. So you guys did a fabulous job with it. I mean, I enjoyed Annabelle's parts, that we saw from Mona last time, and then this time, we saw more of the characters, and it was a really good experience all around. And I thank you for joining me in this incursion. So wishes, I mean, maybe to be a little bit more on point to kind of get you guys moving, maybe doing a little of a few more risks, and then getting you to a really good showdown for the climax of contest roles maybe. But I mean, honestly, Trophy Dark doesn't require a whole hell of a lot, especially when you get down to the last, which is the ruin, the reduction, and then maybe one contest role. So not bad. Could have been for me, at least, to make it a little bit better for y'all. But again, I hope you had a great experience. Okay.
Stars. Ratatouille, the viewing party from Preston, was inspired. Just so good. The solidification and the reuse of a lot of the elements from our rooms, like the lion skin rug and things like that, was all really really nice. I have some more stars. I gotta think of that. I had them in my head and now they're slipped. So come back to me. But I've got other stars in my head. I'll try and remember them.
Yeah, I mean, it was good. I thought it went fine. Malcolm's kind of the voice of reason, the rational one, while Gabrielle was slowly losing her shit more and more. She was sort of in control, and then just got more and more. I can't handle this anymore. While Preston was sort of, I'm enjoying the good life, and I'll just happily ignore more and more of this weird ass shit that just keeps increasing. He went from spoiled to full on decadent. Oh wow! But it was good. There was a decent and like a noticeable shift between ring 2 and 3, because it's sort of 1 to 2 was gradual and 3 to 5 was gradual, but between 2 and 3 there's a bit okay, yeah, there's a real sort of tonal shift. But maybe some of the stuff you read out change a little bit of the wording, and that's fixed that sort of thing. There's more what the house was telling us off from memory, but it didn't make it unfun or anything. It's just okay, yep, it just took a big step darker. But yeah, no, it was good fun, and you ran it fine, so don't be hard on yourself there. Yeah, it's good fun. I can also see you could easily tweak it to not be rats. You could make it spiders. You could make it, bats, all sorts of stuff very easily.
Right. Yeah. Ooh. I mean, and again, it was like this rats was like the thing in this particular incursion. So.
Yeah, but it's definitely adaptable. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Stars. I really liked that the characters sort of each maintained their own ness, sort of like who they were, felt very into it. Like Mal is very much level-headed and sort of easy to like flow into things, and Gabrielle sort of featured herself as like kind of like a leader and a survivor, and just sort of this whole going down swinging aspect. I really liked that. Like, see, it just very, I really enjoyed that. I've never played Trophy Dark before, but I very much enjoyed this, and I think it was good. I wonder at times if, because I don't know the system and entirely how it works, if maybe I wasn't playing it right to a bit of an extent with some of like the character choices, and like I think we mentioned a bit about like risks, and maybe there were moments I should have done things a little riskier. But I was also playing a little conservatively compared to last week, because I was kind of like, I wanna get to play the game, and I was a little concerned about having four ruin and things like that, and maybe I should have gone a bit more heck to the wind of it.
Just know, and it's like partly my fault too, because I mean I could have like had you risk a lot more, like all of you, but I'm like, one of the things that I found out was that the reduction roll doesn't just stop like when you go for 5, like when you hit 5 ruin. I mean, like you could conceivably keep trying to reduce. That just means more betrayal.
Okay,
I mean, there was a bit where we were kind of daring each other to go into the basement sort of thing, which is kind of social PvP, and that's quite common in Trophy Dark, because it gets to the point, it's like, I don't want to risk myself anymore. I might just that's this other person a bit. But yeah, you played it fine, so it's all good.
No, but yeah, I had fun. I liked the ending. I thought it was good. I also, like, part of me both loves and hates that it came down to a single die roll. Like, I both love it, and I don't know entirely how I feel about it, but I think it was great. It was a good story. I agree that the story has the versatility. Mads, I think you ran a great game. I thought it was great. I will say the one thing that this game leaves me with, and I think this is a good thing, but also, like, this is just me being a little obnoxious, where I'm just like, what happened to Maxim? Where'd he go? Why his skin peel off? Why he red? What happened? Where's the inside baseball? So yeah, but otherwise, yeah, loved it.
Leave it for roommates wanted 2, the releasing.
Yeah.
Oh, when he put his hand to caress your face, I thought, oh no, like a rat's going to come out and go down your throat or something. I thought, oh shit, this is going to get.
Oh.
This had been snake. That would have been such good imagery.
Yeah, that's what I was like, oh no, and then when Preston started to change, I thought, oh, hang on, the house has devoured Maxim or something, or whatever's in the basement has devoured him, and it's chosen a new leader, sort of thing.
That was the vibes I got. Yeah. I do want to give a star to Mads, because like the influence that the Between has had on you definitely came through in this, because the house itself was a character, and it was one that we all built together, and also possibly part of the reason that we kind of stretched this one out a little bit was because we had such fun defining and refining the space itself, but that's important in setting the scene and stuff like that. So yeah, star for that. If I had a wish, mostly it's for myself, to really more next time I play Trophy Dark to even lean harder earlier into the play to lose mentality. About halfway through this session, it was really like, I need to start also, leaning harder into the horror movie tropes, and start making Mal make more mistakes, to help facilitate that a little bit better.
But I mean, no matter how much you tried to lean, I was just like, die roll 1 or whatever. It was like,
I know.
why the hell is he rationalizing so much?
Yeah.
It's great.
Certain points, the die just they don't play friendly like that.
Yeah, and I will say, and it's like I said before, it's like sometimes it just comes down to that damn die roll. So, you guys are great.
Yeah, we ran with it.
Yep. No. Again, thank you so much for playing this game with me. I mean, again, first time running this, but again, just really kind of thought it was interesting from just reading it, and that's sometimes what you got to do, like just pick up the incursion, see if you like the theme, see if you like the premise or whatever, and then just see how it goes, because it changes no matter what with the different tables that you have. So again, thank you guys so much for joining me on this
Thank
experience.
you. It was good fun.
Yeah, thank you so much. It was so much fun, Mads, and I very much enjoyed playing with you. I hope I get to play with everyone again. But you ran a fantastic story, and you should be proud of that. It was a very fun experience.
Thank you. And then you guys worked so well collaboratively together, and again, loved your descriptions. I mean, like, that's like so important. I mean, like, I wanted to make this your game, your house. So I think it went pretty well. And I thank you again. All right. You guys have a wonderful day, and we'll see you in more games very soon, I hope. All right.
Thank you.
Bye.